All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is loud and clear. If my voice is low, if you are unable to hear, do put it in the chat box or please unmute and tell. Uh, I request everyone to spend some time. I'm going to really go a little bit slow in terms of scholarship because this is going to be more in focus and per se in regarding for PhDs. Okay, so. If there is any issues, any questions, thanks. It is audible. I have got the green message. So my voice is loud and clear. So I request everyone to keep the notepads, pen, paper handy. I'll be sharing you a lot of links and everything. Anyways, students who have registered, we will be sending you the books, the GRE books, the Toefl books, and preparation for English, writing, all some quite a lot of materials, about like 10 to 12 attachments, close to about 10 books and 12 attachments will be sent to you, and as well as this recording. So this recording will be
This
also
meeting is being recorded.
so recording will be also shared to you. Okay, recording will be also shared to you, so you can have a look at it. At the end of the presentation, my contact details will be shared. So any doubts, you can give me a call. And it's not audible. If it is not audible, please do let me know so that I can change something. Is it audible, Deepu? Is it audible? I mean, yeah, people who are people who are not audible, please do check their internet connection. I hear that I hear that like there are people uh, saying it's audible. Fine.
It's audible,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, so it's audible. Great. If you have any questions in between, okay, please put it in the chat box. I will what I will do is I request everyone to disable their video cameras. Okay, if you have any doubts, clarifications, put it in the chat box. I will have a look at the end, because this is kind of a deep and lengthy topic. Okay, so the in between, if I keep looking at the questions, then it will also distract my concentration and it will deviate as well. So it's better I will look at the questions at the last. You can post at the questions whenever you want in the chat box. Now onwards, I will not be looking at the chat box. So I will, at the end, I will look at the questions and I will answer it. Okay. So in case if you want me to throw some deep light, do mute and deep light. And if you think your question has to be, I have to elaborate more, please do unmute and ask me. But keep it that as a last option. Okay. So yeah, my name is Mohammed Samiuddin. I'm from Chennai. I work for Learning Links Foundation, which is an ETS India Resource Center. So I've been guiding a lot of people in terms of higher education and research work and other things in abroad universities. So I manage the student relationships at ETS, okay, in South India. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Why do people go abroad? So predominantly people go abroad to do this following courses, okay, in these following areas. Most of the South Indian students who go abroad on these following categories, on MBA, PhD, MS. I will not look in deep. I will not touch base on undergraduation, but I will touch base more on terms of research, that's PhD, little bit in terms of MS and MBA. Okay, so I had an earlier request. Thanks to Ansari and thanks to Career.com organizing this session. So I had an earlier request itself, so saying that I need to throw more light on PhD. So I need to throw more light on PhD. So I will be doing that. You can always refer. Okay, one of the important websites which will really help you is Q as in Queen, S as in Scotland, qsworldranking.com. qsworldranking.com is the one of the prominent websites where even IITs are listed. Okay, so this is the where the top-notch universities are listed according to the globe in terms of careers, in terms of other things as well. Okay, so one of the top destinations in across all areas is in terms of career opportunities, in terms of job opportunities. in terms of research, in terms of top class education, in terms of diversification, and in terms of if you want to experiment more and go to the next level, it is always US. Okay, whether it is funding, whether you put hands on, there's a lot of opportunities and learnings happens in US. That is why all the top notch universities, if you see in QS World Ranking, will be there. The top 80, close to about top 80 universities will be there in US. Okay, then comes UK, Canada, Australia. Of course, yeah, UK has fantastic business schools, fantastic institutions, and various categories. Canada has vastly grown up, okay, and it has a lot of opportunities, and US and Canada particularly give fantastic stay back period. Okay, if you look at it, US, your visa stay back period is very good. Okay, for example, if you are planning to do your MS, and if you fall under STEM category, your stay back period will be 2.5 years after the completion of your course. But where it comes to PhD, okay, that will be a longer duration of stay, because the PhD, the research work itself, by and large, it goes about like 4 to 5 years. So your visa duration itself is, I'm making it very clear, your visa duration itself is a long stipulated time. Okay, UK. If you look at UK, there are good institutions, but you need to figure out for what kind of course you are going in, need to do some homework, because US, in all kinds of, in a 360-degree angle, it has touch bases all the courses, fantastic opportunities in all areas. Whereas in UK, it is good in automobiles, it is good in for English-based courses. So you need to do some little bit of homework. We're coming back to stay-back period. UK has just changed. Earlier, it was 6 months stay-back period after your MS. But of late, they have also come up with 2.5 years of stay-back period with some terms and conditions. Again, when it comes to PhD, it is a long stipulated duration time. Same falls with Canada. Not much, I would not, in terms of PhD, in terms of research work, I would not appreciate for Australia, Singapore, and Germany. Okay, Singapore, Australia, Germany, these are good destinations in terms of, if you have a less money, you want to do a MS program, then it's good. Okay, or MBA program, probably it will work out. But I think if you're ideally looking at PhD, in terms of computer science, in terms of mechanical engineering, in terms of electronics, all these areas, US, I think far is so high. So you should probably have the first preference always in US, second preference. The chart here is different, but you should have, you can write it down. The chart, you should always have give first preference to US, because the graph is like this. In terms of costing, it's less. Anyways, it's expensive. Yeah, I mean, it will be around like 60 lakhs or 45 lakhs. It's expensive when it comes to Indian money, but compared to other places like Australia, US is much cheaper. Very importantly, we get job opportunities. Okay, fantastic platform to explore yourself. Okay, and it's US is a fantastic platform to build your brand. Then probably the second option would be Canada. Third option should be UK. So this is how your chart should ideally go on. Okay, rest I would not appreciate if you are looking for PhDs. Yes, this chart looks good for MS, MBA. You can follow this, but when it comes to PhD, this is how I told you: US, Canada, and UK. All right, I'll quickly move on to these slides. I will not take much of time. Few seconds here. You all know MS is a 2-year program. Stay-back period in US is 2.5 years. Canada also gives the same. Australia also gives the same. So it's not much of a difference here, because I'm not going to throw light much on undergraduation and the MS part of it. MBA and MS is almost same, but if it is MBA, probably the stay-back period is less in US and other countries as well. Your stay-back period will be around 6 months. When it comes to PhD, is a complete different ballgame. The PhD part of it, your visa itself, the duration itself will be around 4 to 5 years. Now, first of all, when you apply, when you get PhD, the university, the professor has to justify to the visa office, and you will have to, I will tell you how to get there. Okay, this is just a stay back. I'm talking about the stay back period. So do not look at this in terms of, if you're looking at PhD, this is not the slide for it. So intakes, if you look at it, every university has, unlike India, every university has 3 intakes. Okay, PhD, yes, there are intakes. There are universities which offer PhDs. We will see that in detail. Requirements, yeah. If you want to do a PhD in US, so let me start with that. Okay, so I will quickly have a dropper look at the so which country is better for the material science and branch in for PhD. Okay, so so material science, civil engineering, or like for example, I told you one single word, 360 degree. Okay, 360 degree is US is the best. Okay, so I'm going to throw some more light on US. Okay, now by mandate, US requires a 16 years of education. Okay, if you are planning to do MS. Okay, now if you are planning to do your PhD, now unlike India, if you pay money, you have a contact of professor, you get a PhD. You pay some money, you get a PhD in India. You slog about like 4 to 5 years in a reputed university, you get a PhD. But it doesn't work in that way in US. Okay, so that's the very, very important point. It doesn't work in that way. So the important point in US, if you're ideally looking to do PhD in US, the step number one, you should go to the QS World Ranking. Okay, find out which are the universities which I will probably fit into it. What is my eligibility criteria? Can I get into this? So drop down some universities, list out some universities and keep it. That's step number one. Step number two, go to LinkedIn. Okay, find out who are the professors, who are the HODs, who are the doctorates, who are heading these departments in these institutions. Write it to them. That's step number two. Or else you can, another easy way, or else you can write to the student admission officer with your complete profile. They will direct you to the certain professor. Now it's the professor's call to offer you whether a PhD or not. So that is how the top-notch universities, well-reputed institutions will take a call. Of course, when they say yes, you will have to take your GRE exam. In case I mean, if in case if they are looking subject-wise GRE, for example, if you are looking at doing a PhD in some botany, zoology, physics, they might tell you to take a subject-wise GRE, but I'm not getting into that. They might also tell you, they will definitely tell you to take GRE, they will tell you to take Toefl, but your holistic profile. Now, a lot of people think that so yes, all the questions I will answer at the end. Okay, so very important point is to be noted. PhD admissions in a reputed universities is given by your holistic profile. Most importantly, you can put like this: you should have done tremendous amount of paper presentations. Number one, paper presentations will play a very, very important role. How many number of paper presentations have you done? That's a key factor. Okay, particularly in terms of US. Okay, so ultimately, now if you are looking at like artificial intelligence or cybersecurity, how many papers, what are the areas in cybersecurity have you touch based? Okay, because cybersecurity is a vast area. So similarly, each domain has a vast area. Cybersecurity, if you look at it, it's a very vast, whether it's infrastructure of the company, whether it's vulnerability assessment or penetration testing, or whether it's application development. So it's a vast. So similarly, how many papers have you presented? That's number one. Where have you presented? How many awards have you won? Okay, how many conferences have you participated? And then, do you have any teaching or working experience? Teaching or working experience. So ultimately, these are the important points. Now, why should I offer a PhD to a student with some funding? You should have some great work, right? If you have not done, please do start it. Okay. Now, some of the candidates go ahead and do some fantastic research work, and they also patent it. That is like class. Okay, it's crossing more than 100. So if you could do some research and patent it, that's class. I don't have words to praise about it. So these are the factors I looked into, basic things. Then comes your experience and other factors. Now you can ask me one question, sir. Every day, day in, day out, across India. Now, since it's pandemic, I'm keeping over the globe. Okay, there's a lot of paper presentations happens. Okay, how do I know? There is a RSS feed. Everybody has a RSS feed. Please do feed in your topic details and everything. Read the articles and everything. Okay, so you will get the knowledge about it, and you will know where and what is happening. So you should know the mechanism to find out where and what is happening, and do paper presentations. Heck, a lot of paper presentations. That's number one. Number two, experience, teaching experience or working experience. Anything is fine. Related to that area. Very important point. Related to that area. Okay, and if you have done patents, anything, fantastic. Okay, on top of it, if you are teaching and you are working somewhere, like internship kind of thing, work, teaching and working kind of thing, added advantage, great. Okay, so all these things will come into play. And then your the MS, the MTech or whatever you have studied in post graduation, that marks counts. Okay, how many students have you guided? Okay, so that's any leadership qualities do you have? If what have you driven? Okay, all these matters. Okay, very importantly, in post graduation, how much mark have you scored in that particular area? Overall score, that matters. Then under graduation, okay, overall score and that particular area, what is your score? That matters. On top of it, your GRE score. Why? Why does they will also look 5 to 6% of your GRE score? Now, why do they have to look at GRE also? That's because GRE is a critical based thinking examination. It's not like an Indian based examination. A problem is given to you. Now, how do you solve that in a quick span of time? It's not a mugging up or just solving that. So how beautifully it's not a great thing. So how do you give solutions? So GRE scores also matters. So this is how the holistic profile is looked. And then the professor has to get convinced, okay, I am giving admission to this guy and he get a good chance. Okay, so they'll have to be convinced. So similarly, like you, there are a lot of students would be across India, across the globe will be applying. For example, I'll tell you one thing. India is the highest population which has the youngest minds. I hope everybody will agree in terms of world. Okay, and Japan is nothing in terms of India. Okay, it's very small. But Japan does more than lakh of patents every year, close to lakh. Okay, the patents is close to about lakh. Okay, whereas India is about 12,000. So therefore the competition is huge. So your key matter will play. So I told you, right? If you have patent, that is like absolutely dream. If you want to get into a top notch like Ivy Leagues, what is Ivy Leagues? Top 10 to 15 universities of the globe. Stanford, Harvard, Carnegie Mellon, these are top class. Then you should have some outstanding profile. If you keep a target of having that kind of getting into that kind of university, then only at least you will land up below that. So always prepare for Ivy Leagues. Most of them from top-notch colleges from India. I seen some of the registrations, IIT, IIC, everything. I mean, top class. So go to the next level. I wanted to go to the best in the world. So your patents, the research work, the paper presentations in India, how many number of students have you guided, the teaching experience, the working experience, the internships. Last point, I forgot to tell you, the recommendation letters. The recommendation letters is very, very, very important. If possible, please build a page, have a blog, write about your articles. That could be also submitted. Okay, because ultimately whatever papers you have published and it has to be somewhere, right? So you can consolidate and so have a blog. It would be great. Okay, so have a great LinkedIn profile. That's very important. have fantastic, start building. It will, because this is something which if you want to transform your body, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes 2 to 3 years to build a six-pack or a fantastic body. Okay, so it requires first dedication, proper diet, discipline. So it is a long run. So first, if you are planning for PhD, then in a top-notch university, it is a long-run game. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. So you should have a fantastic LinkedIn profile, because obviously you will touch base these professors through LinkedIn. So you should have a fantastic English command, and then fantastic profile, fantastic recommendations. Also have good recommendation letters, internships, experience, guiding people, teaching or working experience, paper presentations. If possible, I'm putting this word, if possible, please have patents. Try for this patent. Okay, no harm. I know some of the people who are very average have done some patents. Okay, and then the GRE scores will come into the picture. Okay, so if you all have this on the, because GRE scores are valid for 5 years. Okay, so no harm in preparing and keep writing and keeping that as well, because that's valid for 5 years. Okay, TOEFL, once everything is done, then you can write TOEFL. It's a basic English language which is required for your immigration as well as for go and studying there for the education purposes as well. So this is what this holistic profile is, the requirement. Okay, in terms of if you look at the admissions, if I have to get there, what should I do? Okay, because scholarships, I will get into that as well, but it is for the PhD. It is the customized approach, not the standard approach. It will be the decision of the professor, because if you look at it, there are different type of scholarships. I will when I get there, I will talk about the PhD scholarships as well. So that's how the admission of PhD happens. If PhD, I told you very clear, US should be your first option. All right, do not, for God's sake, do not even look at, I know certain students even from IITs who got some fantastic, some decent universities in Europe, gone there, did PhD, all they had to come back to India. Because if you look at the options of this Europe and other countries of this language problem, they will have this local language Spanish problem. Okay, so do not even think about it. That's my advice. Opinions differs. Okay, same way, also plan for Canada. So go to the QS world ranking, write down some 10 to 30 universities list, take down the list of the professors through LinkedIn, write to them, and then if they are not responding, touch base with the student officer. Please do not hesitate to keep giving them reminders. Student admission officers are really busy, but they will respond. So they will respond and put you to the appropriate professors, and they will also take time. So again, and that's what I'm saying, again, it requires a gentle reminder giving to them. It's all how you approach. Okay, any point of time, in case you require certain guidance and you have all this track record and you require any guidance, I am glad to help you out in that. I will share my contact details and we will discuss that in a little bit later. So yeah, UK, US, Canada, and then UK should be your option. Australia, yeah, there are one or two universities which are there. If you think your university is fits into Australia, you can do that work. That's not a problem. Ideally, you should please do not go by what I say. Also look like this, because when I saw the question, there was something related to material science. Okay, so suddenly it was an out of blue for me. Okay, so you should ideally look into this. Okay, this is where I'm going to do my PhD. Okay, from this university. So how many number of companies are there in that city or that country related to my area? So that many job prospects will be there for you. So if there are very less companies related to your field, this is a basic thumb rule. Okay, if there are very basic less companies are going to be there, then ideally it doesn't make sense. So you will have to travel that. Okay, so just do that homework. So that's what I said. One line, US is one such country where you have all the options. UK, if you are looking at automobiles, I think you have some scope there. Okay, but rest in terms of if you are looking to explore in terms of English content, that places UK is a great place. But I'm not sure if you could probably settle down there. It's because everybody is spending so much of money. If you want to do a non-technical based programs, UK is not the ideal place. You can study and probably come back. I mean, the chances of coming back is more than settling down there. Okay, so yeah, these are the few countries which I am not even going to touch base much about it, because these are the countries which will be really helpful. Yeah, I know Netherlands is one such country, but I would not appreciate. And Netherlands is not appreciated. But yes, I will look at the questions at the last. Germany probably for automobiles, for MS it's fine. Again, a language barrier. Okay, so I have put the German proficiency level. I mean, if you're, please do not even venture about PhD. It's not that far. Okay, that's a place where probably if you want to go, I want to come back and settle in India. Somebody is 100% funding my PhD or probably my MS, then probably is fine. I'm not spending anything. It's just I have to go study. Somebody's funding. If I settle down, great. Then probably your questions make sense. If I have to put money, I would not appreciate these countries. Okay, Germany in terms of MS, in terms of automobiles, it's a great place. It gives you tremendous amount of scholarships, particularly in terms of automobiles. It's a place. Challenge here is the German language. You'll have to pass the basic German language to go and study. But if you have to work there, you need to have a high score. All right. Okay. Just give me a moment. My slides are not moving. Yeah. I'm just dropping the Singapore option. This is just for undergraduation and post graduation. There are for MBA. There are some few business schools. This is not the idea. You will not even get a stay back period. Singapore, Middle East. These are the places where if you study and then you will have to come back. Okay, so you get a very less stay back period. Then probably if you want to go and explore the job options, you need to take a visit visa. Then go and try job, and that is also some people say legal, illegal, all those things. So I wouldn't even appreciate all these things. Ireland is coming up, not to the PhD level. Okay, you want to do MS for IT, it's coming up a lot in terms of IT. I know a lot of people go and do data science in Ireland and everything, but not at PhD part. Again, if you want to choose these countries, you got an opportunity for PhD. If somebody is funding your PhD, you're not blowing much of money. It's just a time. Probably you can take a call, but again, that's the time. But probably one PhD you get it. Okay, so but again, but please, that's why I'm saying please do your benchmarks should be at US. Refer US World Ranking. It is the ideal website. It is one of the reputed websites where all the even IITs are listed in that. Okay. This is for the MS, so I do not know how much costing would be for PhD. It varies, because when I will talk that detail in terms when I cover scholarships. Okay, after these slides, I will be looking at scholarships, touch basing about scholarships. Because for the MS, for the Harvard and Stanford, it comes to about 1C, but for the other colleges, universities, it touch bases on these lines. Okay. But yeah, for the PhD, it's a different level. I will touch base on this on that part when I touch the scholarships. So admissions, I told you very clearly. This is for the MS. This is how for the MS it looks. It works in a different pattern for PhD, because for the PhD it will come from reverse. Okay. What you have done at the last, so how many number of paper presentations, if you have done patents, great, paper presentations, then the extracurriculars, the experience, all those things will come. Okay, and then finally, how do you submit your application form? Your application form is one important thing, and the statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is similar to a sales pitch. You are selling yourself. So you will have to sell yourself. Okay. Now, if somebody is listening and if you have to speak, so similarly, you will have to write. Why am I choosing this program? Number one, what is my background? What is my contribution? And I would love to learn and get international knowledge and international exposure. And I would love to come back and serve my country. This is how it should be. Not more than that. Not talking about settling down. All those things will never, shouldn't even touch base on the statement of purpose. The statement of purpose, ideally, you should tell and sell yourself. What is your background, experience, all these things, it should cover in bullet points. Very importantly, it should be short, it should be sweet. Bullet points, not big story. Nobody loves to read a book, big story. And your profile, make it as infographic as much as possible. Figures, graphs, this is what people love to see nowadays. And it helps these professors to take decisions. Do not send them a 4-page, 3-page, a text-based resume. They will assume that they have accepted your LinkedIn request and they have told you to send the profile. After all doing these things, do not go far. Okay, so even your profile should be very infographic. Okay, some of them might know about this, some may not know about this. For some, it might feel this is basic, but most of them do not do this. So after all doing this, have a fantastic infographic. 1 page is the maximum resume, is the resume size of a CEO of a top-notch companies. So similarly, do not go more than 2 pages and have as much as infographic as possible. Be very professional. Put external links. Show them that what is your contribution. Okay, so that's how the decisions are taken. This is something which I'm displaying is more for the MS. Okay, where you plan your course, and then you plan the eligibility criteria, and then you prepare for GRE exams and everything. Even for MS, if you have good paper presentations done your undergraduation, it plays a very important role. Okay, and even for if you have experience, great, but nobody looks at the experience much. But if you have experience in that category, that area plays a very important role. But again, that statement of purpose, the application, that is why consultants play a very important role. Consultants make money on this. I'm not saying you to go to the consultants. You need to do your homework. Okay, so do your homework, plan your university, plan the statement, see what they all require. Ideally, if you do some homework of the professor on the LinkedIn, you can ideally crack it. Okay, so admissions, usually the intake happens in terms of September, January, and July in US. Okay, you saw that, but it is the professor's decision. So ultimately, then it goes for the admission, your application. Then once the professor gives you a go or no go signal, then you should process the application, everything. I mean, then the next step happens. Okay, coming back to scholarships. Okay, now obviously this is pure and pure for the MS, but I will touch base definitely for the PhDs. Okay, obviously when you are applying for PhD, okay, for the research work, and if you think you need a scholarship, your academics has to be by default good. Okay, by default it has to be good. Now these scholarships, for the PhD scholarship, nobody will call you as a merit or need or destination, anything. For the research work, usually the scholarship is given in this way. Now these top class companies give funds to the top-notch universities professors. Okay, now ultimately these professors take this money, have to spend, okay, do research, and everything is more or less on it's on paper. Now it doesn't work in black, so this has to be spent. Right now, where they will go and spend, now it has to be given to the students. Ultimately the research work is done by the students. So now the professor, if he feels, okay, this is the ideal candidate, okay, and he can do the research, he gives the admission, and he also gives you money. Like for example, the stipend, we call it as in India as stipend, right? So yearly or monthly you will be paid. So this need-based scholarship, merit-based scholarship, all by default. Merit is what your academics has to be track recorded. Otherwise, you cannot step into dream university. Okay. So obviously, if you want to touch base on PhD, obviously your merit needs to be good. If you could justify that, like if in case they ask you from what background and do you are financially little bit weak, if they are asking you that question and you are able to give you the appropriate documents of it, that in case like you belong to this kind of a family and your monthly income is this, I am the only supporting member, no, all these things, there are few check marks. Okay, it's a question and you need to answer this. Okay, now if you prove that, great. But anyways, the PhD will come with the scholarships. Okay, in most of the, you'll be paid. Okay, 75 to 80% it works like that. Okay, not like India, you'll be paid. Okay, so ideally, that is why I say that your ideally holistic profile has to be very good. And in some cases, I also forgot to tell, you might have interview as well. They will have you video conferencing, they might have an interview. So that is why I say, I mean, please do practice. When I share the material, please do have practice on the English command. They also not only look at the technical knowledge, the English command, the leadership skills, because tomorrow you might have to go and represent the institution at big conferences. So all the holistic area, please, it again, I rephrase and I reiterate, it doesn't work like India. Not only the knowledge, not only the few boxes, it doesn't work like that. So please make sure, and please do remember, it is a long-term process. Okay, and PhD comes with scholarships, 75 to 80%, if you satisfy all these categories. Okay, if you don't touch base, if in case you might ask me, sir, I have missed out that, I have missed out this, please, if you have missed out this, this, probably the best way to fulfill is do more. Option number one, more number of ramp up your paper presentations. Ramp up your paper presentations. Please do not hesitate to get in the biggest forums of India, biggest forums of Asia. Okay, now since it's pandemic, it's everything is happening online. Okay, so please try to do that. Okay, now you get this. I told you two options. Number one is that, and nothing could replace if you are doing some patents. Please put some effort. It requires time, it requires dedication, and doesn't happen as a fast food. It even takes more than a couple of years as well. So if you could do that, nothing could replace. Ideally, you want to take some guidance from your undergraduate professors, you want to work with them, please do that. But ideally, if you want to do even your one PhD will make a great difference. And then later on, you can build up. Okay, so that's how it works. These are some things which are for undergraduation. Okay, subject wise, this is where I mentioned the subject wise is what most of the professors get grants. So please also keep a check mark. Also read more articles related to your areas. You will come to know that like which are the companies which have are doing research work. So if the, like for example, as Reliance is doing some kind of have given some scholarships to certain universities, that means they have given some money to that college, these professors, the HODs, to do some research work. So they will be doing that research work. So do some homework on that and keep reading about your areas externally, what is happening in the market about your area, so that you will definitely get to know some platform, some information, so that ideally you can walk into it. Okay, student specific will not play an important role in this. So sports category will not play. It is more, sports is something which even doesn't play an important role for the students in MS. So I'm dropping out that. Student specific, it will not play a role for the PhDs. Okay, very important slides which I told you earlier. Please do explore these websites. There are some following links. Okay, you want to take snapshots, please do take snapshots. And you can see, I told you, right, there are some companies work closely with some universities for their research wing, because these Tatas and other companies as well, they also have their R&D department, but they work closely with the professors. They work very closely with the institutional professors and mostly with the foreign universities. Okay, so they do a lot of research work, and please do check these links, and you can find out how that funding happens and how now these professors have to spend this money. Okay, so check about the grants and all those things. So therefore, please do explore these scholarship websites side by side. Okay, so your main track record should be the what I told you, the flow chart what I told you. Okay, and then these websites, which is very important, you will understand how these scholarships are granted. Okay, on what areas. So even if they grant the scholarships 80 to 70% on the MS, but they will at least spend some 30 to 20% on the research for PhDs as well. So do some homework on these scholarships, okay? Because this is kind of 6 months back I took this list, okay? So it will be a lot updated. When you check, they will also put a small important point that which country students can apply for the scholarships, okay? So there are a lot of scholarships which are like only for the Indian students. Please do not take otherwise, okay? There are a lot of scholarships, it's clearly mentioned only for the Indian students. Okay, please do explore that. Okay, few websites. This is scholarshipdeco.com, scholarshipportal.com. This is fantastic information about scholarships. So have complete info about scholarships. Okay, again, some companies websites like which I told you, you can see these scholarships, what is these people are offering. That's why I'm saying, I mean, if in case you are getting a PhD fully funded, free of course, you're traveling and you're also earning money, then probably you can take a call. There's no harm in going and study. Then probably you can do another PhD also. So you can keep that as an option, plan B. Okay, if I tried US, I tried for Carnegie Mellon, it didn't work out. I tried so many times. I tried 10 to 15 universities in US, it didn't work out, and this is working out. Probably then you can take a call. Okay, so have a plan A, have a plan B. Everything comes with advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so take the decision according to that. Please do explore. If you want to take snapshots, I will send you the recordings, but please do take snapshots as well. Okay, because some of the mails may go to the spam and you may not notice, so please do take a snapshots as well. Quickly, like I told you, GRE, after all doing these things, I mean, if it didn't, please do not goof up in GRE. Yes, you have an option of writing it again, that's not a problem, but it comes with money. Okay, GRE also offers scholarships for doing MBA, but that I think that will not be helpful for you. I will quickly run through a few things on GRE. GRE is valid for 5 years. Now, this is a very important point. Prepare in between, have a deadline. If you think next 3 to 6 months, I'm a little bit less occupied, I have time, start preparing and have the GRE scores ready. Total marks for GRE is about 340. Okay, total marks for GRE is about 340. Please do aim at least 315 to 320. That's the grade score. Okay, some people take even 333, 332. So it all depends, because GRE is a one examination. We will see that in detail, but I'm just giving you the overview. Okay, GRE is a one examination where you can it tells the opposite person who is evaluating your profile that how this guy is good at problem solving. As simple as that is how he solves the problem. Okay, and how good at it and how fast he can solve. So is he taking two-dimensional approach or only he sticks to what he says? So these are the few things which comes in GRE. Unless or until you are going to do a botany, zoology, physics kind of PhDs, then you will have only general GRE. Okay, you will have general GRE. If you are going to do a PhD in botany, physics, in this zoology, chemistry, in these areas, you will have a subject GRE. It is a completely a different ball game. If somebody is planning to do that kind of a GRE, I mean, in these areas, a PhD, do let me know. I'll have to give you a different GRE thing, because it is a GRE based on that subject. So let's not discuss about that. Let's discuss about the general GRE. Most of them might require a general GRE. Okay. Any questions, keep posting on the chat box. I will look at the lens and we'll have a detailed discussion. Okay. And if in case if you have to unmute and discuss, we'll also do that as well at the last. Okay. I will quickly run through GRE as well, because that will also play an important role in terms of for your application. Okay. This I'm not going to take. GRE today is accepted for PhDs, law programs, awarding fellowships. Please do note your scholarships. Most of the people also say fellowships in abroad. Okay, so please note that GRE is also required for that. Scores are good for 5 years. people want to do MS, MBA, they can also do it. Okay. If in case you are planning to do any MBA, GRE also is accepted for MBA. For your information, some of the top-notch Indian business schools also accept MBA, accept a GRE scores for MBA. We'll see that in detail. Okay. For the MBA, there are scholarships being offered by with the help of GRE. So GRE scores, ETS also offers that. So if in case you want to explore, please do take this link a snapshot and check this out. Some of the top-notch institutions in India do accept GRE score for MBA. For the executive, IIMs accepts for the executive MBA programs, GRE scores are accepted. But yes, of course, ISB, IMT, SPJN, all these people, Great Lakes, all these people accept GRE scores for the admission, normal MBA programs as well. Okay. Same thing, not same slide continuation. I'm moving on, not much. Yeah, another factor today, GRE is accepted for MBA even in top-notch schools like Harvard, Stanford, Toronto School of Business, London School of Business. If in case later on you change the plan, you finish your doctorate, and if you feel you want to do an MBA, you are well settled in abroad, and you've been funded by your company, probably you can look into that as well, because you will also have a GRE score. This holds for 5 years as well. So good chance of that. As on date, the GRE fees is $213. Top notch, all institutions in US will require GRE and TOEFL. This you will have to add it to your profile by default. Okay, TOEFL while almost freezing in. Okay, so it requires TOEFL because ultimately, if you prepare for GRE, your TOEFL reading and writing skills are taken care. Only thing is the listening and speaking you need to practice, that you can do it. This is because it is almost done in GRE itself. Very user-friendly test. If you don't know, no negative marking, It is an adaptive-based test. I will tell you what is that adaptive-based test. Okay, no negative marking. In a particular section, if you don't know any question, you can bookmark that question and come back and answer that later as well. And also, if in case you want to change the answers, you can do that as well after once you come back. But you should not go out of the section. If you go out of the section, then what happens is you cannot come back to that section. Okay, we'll see that in detail. Okay, GRE has 3 sections in detail. Okay, particularly analytical writing, verbal, quants. Total examination is 4 hours. In between, you will get 10 minutes. It's an online based test. You need to have passport, compulsory, but now ETS has introduced, even if you have an Aadhaar card, due to this pandemic, they are accepting Aadhaar card also. It will have verbal, analytical writing. Analytical writing is the essay writing. Okay, and then it is verbal. Verbal is general English. It's vocab. Okay, and quants. Quants is the maths. Very important point. In GRE, the maths will be very easy. In GMAT, the maths will be tougher. Okay, English will be tough in GRE. English will be easier in GMAT. That's the difference between both the tests. But GMAT is only accepted for MBA. Let's not speak about that. Okay, so GRE is accepted for everything. Okay, in detail, analytical writing will have 1 section, 2 tasks. Okay, we'll see what are those tasks and everything. Verbal will have 2 sections. Each section will have 20 questions. Quants will have 2 sections, 20 questions. So totally close about 4 hours. We'll see that in detail. Very important point. You will also have an unscored section. Unscored section is the few questions will be taken as questions which you might have done wrong, which you might have done right. It will be taken as an unscored section. Okay, so these questions will be taken as an unscored sections. You will not know that it is an unscored section. Okay, it will automatically pick 3 or 4 questions as an unscored section. Okay, if in case unscored section doesn't come, you will have a research section. Research section is a calculation, and you do a statistical calculation, and then you need to answer it. Okay, so it will be at the end of the session. It will be clearly mentioned that's a research section. You will get either any one of them. Okay, so 3 hours 45 minutes is the test. Okay, you will get the break, you will get a paper and pencil to take down your notes and everything, do calculations. Anyways, you will have an online calculator as well to do the calculations. But I always recommend, please do calculations, everything manually when you practice. Okay, we've seen this earlier. I told you this earlier. If in case you want to change the answers, you don't know any question, you can come back and review and change it. You can bookmark the question and come back and answer it later. But once if you have moved out of the section, you cannot come back. Okay, that's the one of the advantages and disadvantages. Online calculator, this is how it looks. You do the calculation and you can transfer the answer directly to the answer box. Back, next, everything is there. You can see in the screen how does it look. Analytical writing, yes, we will see this in detail. 10-minute break in the test, right? Analytical writing, very important point. This is where I said GRE is also looked into as how do you solve the problems and what is your view. Okay, it's mainly looked, if you look at it in GRE, analytical writing carries about 0 to 6 points, but this plays a very important, the marks for this will play a very important role. This will be evaluated by a human rater. You will not get the scores instantly on that day, but other two sections you will get the score instantly on that day itself. Coming back to analytical writing, it has two tasks, one section, two tasks. Okay, task number one is analyze the issue. Analyze the issue is, there will be a problem, as simple as that. A lake is there where a lot of tourists comes to the lake. It is one of the important tourist area, but due to pollution, there's a lot of people avoiding to come to the lake. So this kind of a problem will be there. Okay, a task will be given to you. Now you need to give a solution for this. Now you need to pick up a solution and you need to give some examples. You will need to find out what the author is trying to say, what the problem is, and need to extend the solution. And also solution should also have some profitable meaning. Okay, profitable meaning. Okay, how can you relate it to the profitable meaning? It could be tangible, it could be non-tangible, all these things. Okay, so that's the one of the point which you need to look at, analyze the issue. Analyze the argument. X, Y will be arguing. Okay, X, Y again will be arguing. X, Y arguing. You need to pick up at the last. Are you going to go with X? Are you going to go with Y? Okay, if you are going to go with X, then Y, you have to mention why are you going to go with X? What is the reasons? What is the examples? And the same rules applies. Profitable meaning and give some examples what the author is trying to say. So that is how it needs to be typed. This is just a mere writing, but it is a typing. Cut, copy, paste, all functions are there available. Delete function is also there, but no spell check, grammar check. Okay, very important point. How good verbal words you use in this passage will play a great role. Okay, so yes, I will move to the next section, which is English. That's a verbal section. Reading comprehension. You will have reading comprehension. You'll have to. There will be options listed below. We have done in the school. Read the passage, answering the question. Read the passage, answer the questions. Sometimes it will be marked. You need to select more than. There will be a lot of options. More than 5 options it will be there, and you need to select more than one option. The answer may be 1 or 2. So you need to understand that. So it will be clearly marked. The options are more than 1. So there will be a radio symbol. Okay, the radio symbol indicates that the options are more than 1. Okay, so that's one. Reading comprehension is 1. Okay, so there will be a multiple choice with single option, multiple choice with multiple answers, and then there could be option where you need to read the question and you need to select in the passage. So different types of questions. I will also send you some GRE books. Please do look into that as well. Then there is something called fill in the blanks. Text completion is fill in the blanks. There will be a passage with a lot of blanks. Options will be below. You need to put that word in the blanks, perfectly in the blanks. Okay, so that's the text completion. Sentence equivalence. Sentence equivalence is passage will be given and the question will be given below. You need to read the question below and find out where exact meaning of this sentence is there in the passage and select that. That's sentence equivalence. Okay, moving on, then you will have similarly a quantitative quants. You will have a single calculation, that's max. You need to have the questions will come from these areas: arithmetic, algebra, geometry, data analysis. Not much, doesn't require much time for you guys. I think you can quickly prepare this. You need to just understand what kind of questions are coming: numeric entry, quantitative comparison. These are the types of questions you'll have. You can look at the books and sample test as well. So please do explore that. One best tip: please do practice whenever you're free, and also practice with your timer. And then after the practice, the next week, please do practice and see the improvement. So that's how you develop the GRE skills. I'm sure you guys can do this very well. Very important point: this is an adaptive based test. So this adaptive based thing will happen only in verbal and quants. I will not go in deep, but this is a bit confusing, but you need to know this. Both verbal and quants both have two sections. Okay, 20 questions each. The first section will start at the moderate level. There are 3 levels: high, moderate, high, medium, low. Okay, in the first section, if you score more than, for 20 questions, if you score more than 12 or 13 marks, okay, then automatically your next section will be tougher, but you also get some bonus points. So if you're doing well, the questions will be tougher and tougher. If the first section you're not doing well, that means for out of 20, the first section, you have scored less than 10, you also get penalty of -2 marks, and next section will be easy. Okay, so the next section will be easy. So this is called adaptive based test. Okay, that's you need to understand. Okay, more in detail, you can look at this. I will not go total 170 for verbal and 170 for quants, and then the 6 points for the analytical writing. So you can ask me a question: 170 for quants and 170 for verbal. Where does this analytical writing will go and fit? That is where the unscored section will come into the picture. Okay. So yeah, please do register, and you can log into this website called ets.org/GRE or MyGRE. You will get a lot of details. I will share you the books and everything. Without passport, you cannot write the examination. Passport is mandatory. Or now they have introduced the Aadhaar card. With the Aadhaar card, you can do it. Okay. All you need to do is very important point: the name must exactly match your passport or the Aadhaar card. Otherwise, they will not allow you to write the examination, because that will come into your scorecard. Okay, so that's what they have mentioned in the slide. Okay, registration process and everything. To get this score, it requires about 10 to 14 business working days. This is the split up of the GRE, the quants and the verbal. How does it work? Okay. Unofficial scorecards you will get on the same day for the verbal and quants, but the final scorecard will come within 10 to 14 days. If you are writing, very important point, if you are writing GRE for the first time and you don't match the exact score what is required by the university and what is required by your professor, then probably you can write it again within 10 to 15 days. Okay, so maximum of within 21 days. So you can write GRE only 5 times in a year. Okay, so you can write multiple times, only 5 times in the year. If you are writing the second time and you get the highest score, you can send the highest score, that's the best score of the GRE part. Okay, so unofficial scores of verbal and quants will come on the same day. This is how your scorecard will look like. Okay, I will not bore you much with this GRE thing. Yes, you have an option of, if your professor says, please send the official scorecard through ETS itself. So when you are registering, this is the very important point. If your professor or the admission officer says that your scorecard has to be a ETS GRE scorecard, means when you are registering for the GRE exam, you will have an option. If you want to send the scores to the university, please do mention the university or the college name. So you can put the college code or the university code. Once the result comes to you, it will also go to the university. Okay, or you can download and send it to them. That is also is fine. Okay, but you can send these scores for 5 universities. That's not a problem. Okay, you can take the test in 21 days again, so that's not at all a problem. So this will help you, but only 5 times in a year. So that is a very important point. To sum up, accepted for MBA, you can send the best scores, no negative marking. It's a very good, fast-based test. So yeah, that's it. Tips and tips. I do not have to talk about much about tips and tricks because that's another detailed, vast subject. All you need to do is practice, practice. You have come so far. I think GRE is not going to be a big issue. So I'll quickly move on. Yes, I will send you a lot of practice materials, but if you want to download and see, get a hang of GRE, just you can take a snapshot of this following links. Please do explore this. Okay, before I move to the next slide, please do take some snapshot of these links. Okay, yes. Who accepts GRE for law school? These are few links which will be really helpful. Fellowships is what for the MBA programs, but fellowships it's mentioned for the scholarships as well. Please do check into that as well. I will take not more than 5 to 10 minutes more and give you about Toefl. Okay, Toefl is going to play a very important role more than your GRE. GRE is like something which will help you to fetch admissions and everything, but the decision also will be along with your TOEFL score, but that evaluates your English. Because it is one of the oldest tests. I will quickly move to the next slide, and if you could go through this slide, it is one of the oldest English design test. We all focus too much on technical and aspect, okay, and we last miss out on the communication part or this English part of it. So 90% of Indian population happens with the students happens on this area. Okay, we focus too much on the technical aspect and everything. On the communication, we don't give much importance. We think that we'll sail across. Okay, and it happens in India, but doesn't work in abroad in such a way. Because more than GRE, like I said before, this is going to play a very important role in terms of admissions. Because when you are presenting yourself, they will also look at how good is this guy if he comes and works with me, and if he happens to go and present some papers and has to do a lot of meetings, he has to have a fantastic command on English. So please do take measures, steps to enhance your English. Okay. Oldest English test is TOEFL. Okay. I will tell you why this is one of the oldest English test. ETS spends about 30% of its profit on this test, okay, to develop this every year. Recent changes came in August 2019. I will see that as well. I'm not getting into these details. I'll throw you one small example, okay. Why this is the most preferred test across the globe, okay, particularly in US universities, and the US professors do not understand bands. They understand the speaking, how much does it score for 25 and everything. Okay, I'll tell you quickly. So one of the most preferred test in US, if you are looking for US, I would definitely I'll recommend you to take TOEFL. Okay, 100% accepted in everywhere. Once we go to the structure, I want to give you a small example which will really help you, and it will be also you will also understand why this is one of the important tests. Okay, now if you look at Stanford, Harvard, okay, the examinations are not conducted. Okay, examinations are not conducted based on the question paper. Okay, the questions are given, then I have to sit in the exam. It doesn't work like that. They do also have an exam called a 24-hour examination. 24-hour. This happens in MS. I don't know about the PhD part, but this happens in MS. Okay. So the The student has to go to the professor and he will give a question paper. It will have a one single question and he'll have to write and submit it within 24 hours. You are free to refer any books, any materials, Google, whatever you want. Okay. Ideally, it is said by these top-notch universities like Stanford, Harvard, if the student has not attended the class, if the student has not paid attention in the class, then he will not be able to answer this question. Okay. Why? Now, in these top-notch universities, the schedule, the timetable, okay, the what the teacher is going to teach for next 15 days is the timetable is given to the students already. Okay. And a student needs to prepare that and come in to sit in the class. So ideally, if you read that subject and then you sit in the class, you have already done the reading. Okay. The professor is teaching. Okay. So the reading is done. When somebody is teaching, you are listening. And then when somebody is listening, if you're listening properly, then you will be able to take the notes properly. And then somebody is asking you a question, you'll be able to speak properly. So this chain has to be a continuous process, and it is a continuous process in foreign universities. Okay, so that is why this test is designed in the same way. What you do in reading will come in listening, and then you will have a break, you will have integrated skills. So to give you an ideal example, what we do for an interview, before attending the interview, go to the website, we do a lot of homework, we write down notes and everything, then we sit in the interview, we speak. So the chain-based reaction continuously happens. This chain-based reaction continuously happens in the foreign universities. Okay, the only thing is they will tell you in advance what they are going to teach in the class, and you are supposed to read and come. Okay, and there's not much of a material and you need to take notes. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, so you have reading, it's just a comprehension, then you do the listening. It's the listening is the lecturer will be taking a class, and there'll be questions popping up, you need to answer. And then in the listening, you will have 2 to 3 conversations, and then 2 to 3 conversations means the lecturer will be taking the class, the students will be asking a question, you need to listen that, and then the question will pop up and you need to select options. You have a 10 minutes, it's a 3-hour based test, not much of a hassle here. Then you have a speaking. In speaking, you will have a 4 tasks. You have a 1 independent task. It will be a flat topic, that why do you want to go study abroad? It will be a questions like that. And so once the question pop-ups, you get 10 to 15 seconds of time to write down. Okay, that what are you going to speak? So it's better you plan your passage and then speak. Okay, you also have an interrogated task. Interrogated task is audio or a video clip will be played where a professor or 2 students will be interacting. It's pure academic. Okay, where a professor or a student or 2 students will be interacting, and the question will pop up, and then you need to write it down and then speak. Okay, so the chain based reaction happens here, that's called integrated task. Same way it happens in writing, you have 2 tasks, one is integrated, one is independent. Independent, the question will be asked and you need to type. So not much of a grammar will be looked into it as they look in GRE, but yes, how do you narrate the passage? Okay, how confident, not without taking sides. Okay, so giving example, the same example what I gave for GRE, the same way it works. Okay, and then the integrated task is the same way, audio and the video clip will be played, and the question will pop up. You need to read the question and then answer. Okay, so that's how the writing works. So you need to have all the important things. Okay, so if you are writing for GRE, sorry, if you are writing TOEFL and you don't get the adequate score what your professor or the university says, you can write it at the next time. But I clearly doubt there is something called my best score. Okay, my best score is you write for the test date number 1 and date number 2. The best of the two tests on the section wise, not the overall, is picked up and it's called as my best score. But I doubt they will accept this for PhD or not. They will not accept for PhD. They will only accept the overall score. So please do note that. Okay, so this is not a rocket science. GRE and TOEFL you can sail across. That's not a much of an hassle. Not much of a preparation time as well. So I will quickly move on These are few links. If you want to take a snapshot, you can take a snapshot. I will share you the materials as well. I will put my details. You can take it down.